Okay, I'm putting on my, my first hat as the selection administrator, also known as neutral third party. That means I'm not on the neighbor council board. Although I have experience with neighbor council elections and the selection process for Chatsworth, I am, to be fair to all candidates, all voters, etc. And so we ask that you also respect and be fair to the candidates as they make their statements. As I said earlier, let's agree to disagree. Everyone will have a limited amount of time. I'm sure we'll have more questions than we have time to have answered, depending on how many of the candidates that we have participating. So please hold your applause till the end. So this is for information, and I do want to explain that there is an official recording that Jose is overseeing. It will be posted on YouTube, on the
Chatsworth selection channel.
on the YouTube Chatsworth selection channel. We do this every year. So if you want to relook at it, or probably more likely, if you want to let other people know who weren't here tonight who may want to watch this, it will be up there soon, and we'll let the candidates know once it's up. Any questions? Okay, so let's start by, again, in ballot order. And I'd ask the candidates to please keep track of this, because some may be seating and some may be standing. But for the initial introductory comments, we would like everyone to do it in ballot order, so because it corresponds with the lists that we put out. So the first one is Kelly Ann Lewis Bortman. Is she here? Okay, Dietrich Galloway. And Matt has withdrawn. Matt Weintraub has withdrawn. Oleg Korsakov. Georgia Altmaier. You can either sit or stand. If you sit, you'll be the first seat.
This one? We got it.
You can.
Let's remind everybody that this, the applause comes at the end, not
Yeah.
for every single candidate that walks up.
Right.
We'll be here at midnight.
Okay. Remember, it's being recorded. It's going to be visible to the whole world. Andre Vanderbalk.
All right, Andre. Go, Andre.
Okay. Frank Garrity. Either stand behind or sit. It's you. Mark Labesh. Linda Vanderbalk. Rita Dunn. He'll be followed by Martin Cox. Sit or stand. Sit or stand. Okay, so far everyone's choosing to sit. Okay, Sheriff Bentley.
Gwen, they can sit behind. We have chairs there.
One chair.
No, I want to stand.
Okay. Moran Kalajian, followed by Chris Hayer. You'll correct that if I...
Close enough.
One seat left. And actually, there are chairs behind too, but
Right.
it may not be.
Yeah,
You can sit in the
everyone's
back.
welcome to use the chairs that are in back as well.
Okay, Melissa Hall. Susie Heinz. Look, I need to have you go in order, please. Keep track. Somewhat in order. Okay. Paul Labella. Jim Van Gundy,
Go Jim, go Jim.
Les Hines, Nicholas Montano, Susan McCall, so share, maybe you can move down just please. Everyone in the,
Yeah.
and Carrie Try.
So, let's get pretty close to this.
Bring it a little more. Sorry, it's pretty crowded this year, that's a good thing, but, okay. All right. So these are your candidates who are participating in the candidate forum. I think we can go ahead and give applause for okay, so the ground rules are every candidate will be able to do an opening statement of 1.5 minutes. I have to reset the timer for each of you, so don't start till I've done that. Vicki has signs she'll be holding with 15-second and stop. And then once we finish with the opening statements, we'll go to the questions. So you're first, but don't start. Don't start until we get things set.
I'm going to read because I'm from public school.
Give me a note.
Okay. All right, we can get started.
Hi, everybody. I'm Georgia Altmeyer. I have been a Chatsworth resident and stakeholder for over 37 years. I've been your LAPD Volunteer Neighborhood Watch Chairperson for 5 years and continue to do so currently. I've worked with our LAPD Senior Lead Officer, Danny Del Valle, for approximately 14 years volunteering to help on a variety of issues in Chatsworth. I want to be on the CNC to help restore our quality of life here in Chatsworth as I am passionate about saving our community. Daily, I walk and pick up trash in the streets and parks. I'm familiar with city services and navigating the system to benefit Chatsworth. I am endorsed by our Senior Lead Officer, Danny Del Valle, also endorsed by past President of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council and Community Volunteer Pat Pope, also endorsed by local businesses such as Chatsworth Cleaners and the Silver King. That's it.
Pass the mic to next. Hold on.
Good evening. My name is Andre Vandervalk. I'm a combat Vietnam veteran and lived in Chatsworth. We celebrated 48 years last month, 50 years married, raised 3 kids, 7 grandkids, and I like living here. I like the urban atmosphere, and I just assume keep it that way. I have made investments over the years. I've been on the CNC for almost 20 years now, since its implementation, one way or another. I'm not one of the guys that just hangs on and then looks to the right, looks to the left. My sister's on the left, my wife is on the right, and they get it mixed up, because that's a big no-no, right? So I'm not there yet, but we have a lot of good candidates, and probably the best that we've had for some time. And we are picked on because Chatsworth is successful. And we've been successful because we do what we feel the neighborhood wants. And that's what we've been doing for the last almost 20 years, myself and my wife for that matter. We vote independently I'm told afterwards whether I voted correctly or not, but we do, and I'm teasing, of course, on that. But I thank you very much. Like I said, look at the rest of the candidates. They're all good, they're all qualified, and it's probably the best team that I've seen come along in years. Thank you.
I'm Frank Garrity. I've been here for about 20 years. I'm retired. I came out of the broadcast television industry as an engineer, built TV stations around the country. And now that I'm retired, I'm really appreciating Chatsworth and all of the things it has to offer. But being retired, I have time, and I can be a committed advocate for the community because of the time that I have, and I'd like to share that. I also volunteer down at Rancho San Antonio. I counsel all the kids down there twice a week. And I feel that having worked for 40 years, it's now time to give back for another 40 years. And I hope I'm able to do it for you all. I love the equestrian nature. In fact, I live across the street from Stony Point Horse Ranch, so every time the Day of the Horse is here, I get to share my driveway with everybody. I love it, so I'm in the right neighborhood for that. And I hope that we can continue to make the equestrian nature of Chatsworth so strong. When I started in my career, it was working with Gene Autry. I know that the other cowboy lived up here, but you get that work ethic, you get that cowboy ethic, and it's something that I think to preserve and protect is a good thing. My two boys are also preserve and protectors in law enforcement. I'm not going too specifically on that just because things get late. Oh, and I'm almost out of time, so let me see what else I have. I have 7 grandsons of the 3 kids and a beautiful wife, Patty, and we hope that we all somehow get to contribute.
Hi, I'm Mark Lavash. Hopefully some of you have recognized me from my frequent attendance of meetings here. I've lived in Chatsworth for 28 years. That's long enough to experience the earthquake here. I'm currently the president of Mountain View Homeowners Association. It's over on DeSoto across from the Chatsworth baseball field. There's 46 homeowners, and I've been on the directorship there for more years than not since I've been living here. You know, Chatsworth will not keep its appeal if we stand idly by and watch. But on the other hand, making small sacrifices can make this a better place for all of us to live. My favorite motto and aspiration is, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. I hope to contribute my small part in making Chatsworth a better place. I'm confident that you all do the right thing in voting. Let me try to make a difference here in Chatsworth. Thanks.
I'm Linda Vanderbock. Somebody took my whole first paragraph about how long we were married and how long we lived in Chatsworth. We have 3 of our grandchildren live in Chatsworth, and that's why I want Chatsworth to be a great community. I have been an active community member since my daughter started kindergarten at Germain Street School. I was active in the PTA, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts with my sons, and active with the Chatsworth Historical Society. My kids played sports at Mason Park and CJBL. I want the old Chatsworth back. I want where my grandkids can go for a walk, go to the market or local restaurants without having to be fearful of what they will encounter on our streets. I know that the CNC is just an advisory board, but I want to make sure that we put pressure on our politicians to help us get our Chatsworth back. I'm also co-president with my husband of the Chatsworth Historical Society and a community liaison on the Chamber Board. I've been active with the CNC since its inception. I would like to stay on the board so that I can work on the Chatsworth Porter Ranch Community Plan when it comes up for an update in 2021. This plan is extremely important to the future of Chatsworth. We need to make sure that our rural lifestyle in our community is protected from overdevelopment. I've been chair of the Land Use Committee for the last few years. This has given me an insight on how the city approaches developments in our community. We often do not agree with the outcome, but often we are able to have mitigations that make the project more palatable than accepting a rubber-stamped project. Please vote for me so I can continue my work for the community.
Hi, my name is Rita Dunn, and I've lived in Chatsworth for almost 5 years now, and I'm here mainly because I appreciate Chatsworth. I really like it here, although it was unexpected, my arrival. My interest goes as far as to be on some of the committee boards that have to do with homelessness. And I'm interested in creating an environment where we can actually solve that problem and encourage participation amongst our local unsheltered community, because I think that is key. I think that we should have more pro-social endeavorings with this, and I would like to bring better services to these people and also see if we can find a way out of this crisis. I am also very much interested in preserving the unique rural qualities of Chatsworth. I lived in Cable Canyon for about 5 years as well, so I understand that. I have lived in several other rural areas as well, so you know, I understand how you feel about, you know, the community, and I think that keeping Chatsworth clean and safe is key, you know, and I don't believe that there's anyone in our unsheltered community that doesn't feel the same way. I know that there's a lot of dysphorism, and I'm here to try and end that. So I hope that you will vote for me, because like it or not, the problem's only getting worse. So we might as well think of solutions now.
It goes to Martin next.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening. My name is Martin Cox, and most of you have never met me before. I thank you for this opportunity to come here and address you as a candidate for the Chatsworth Council. A little bit about myself. My wife and I moved here a year after we were married. We bought our first home, and we've been here 22 years. We've really enjoyed Chatsworth. Some of the things that I enjoy about Chatsworth are waking up in the morning, looking out my bedroom window, and seeing the mountains across the north. Also smelling the horses, believe it or not. I enjoy that. I enjoy the rural atmosphere, even the country atmosphere that you can have if you spend 5 minutes driving. But over that time, I've seen a lot of changes in Chatsworth, and they're not all positive. A few of our neighbors sold their house, and the city allowed developers to come in and stick in 15 and 20 unit condo buildings, which immediately increased parking difficulties. Also, when I go walking with my dog, now I see needles in the street, I see empty marijuana containers, and it's really bothering me. I've been on my HOA board for over 5 years. I think that's prepared me for this. Please vote for me.
Okay, so it'll be the share.
That's me?
Yeah.
I am Cher Bentley. I'm a current board member and secretary. I decided to run 3 years ago now. This is my 4th speech that never gets any easier. Because I found a group of like-minded women in the community who wanted to help but didn't know how, so we all banded together and I decided to run. I was not successful the first time. The second time I was on the board, and I had a few skeptics. I'm not going to name any names, Andre. But I think since that time they've seen that I put in the work, I put in the time. The first year of my full 2-year term, I was on 3 committees. I chaired 2 of them. I have since taken over as secretary, which is a little time consuming. And I also run the Facebook page, which needs a little work. Yes, Callie, that's true. So I'm hoping to have the opportunity to run again and continue my work and continue to help where I'm needed. I kind of go where the slack is falling, I guess, and I would like to continue to be a voice for my community.
Ron is next.
Hi, my name is Miran Kalajian, and Chatsworth. I'm actually also the board member of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council. I'm the chair of the school and education. And I've been also involved with your outreach committee. And my very main goal is to work with youth, civic engagement, and to schools to bring more awareness and different programs in our community, and as well to work with the schools in order to bring different programs. My passion is the school and kids, and this is what I like to be involved in. I would like to create more engagement for the students to understand our civic rules, civic engagement, to understand their responsibility and role in our community.
So it'll go to Chris next.
Good evening, Chris Heyer. I'm born and raised in the Valley. I've lived here all my life. Lived in Chatsworth now for about 18 years. My wife, my 2 daughters, sisters-in-law, nephews, grandsons all live within about a mile of each other. We treasure the community. I've been involved, well, I've been active but not really involved. Coached my daughter at Mason Park. I bike ride in the area regularly. And I moved my business here about 1.5 years ago. So as an established stakeholder, I feel it's time for me to really get involved rather than just be active, and I have the time to do so. We've all witnessed many changes in our city and in our local area, some good, some not so good, but I want to be involved in how these decisions are made, have some input, be able to explain it to my family and community members, and just to take up the mantle of support for our community that I think we all want to preserve. And I hope you vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa Hall. I lived here, originally came here when I was about 12 and then moved away for a while, came back and have been in my residence since 1995. I've raised 3 children here, 2 that have gone to Chatsworth, and I went to Chatsworth as well, and 1 that's still there playing softball. I have done a lot throughout my community that I just don't post about, but I've been there to report incidents or graffitis or stuff like that. I've been to cleanups, and I now no longer serve on PTA now that my daughter goes to high school, so I have more time that I'd like to invest in helping my community more and bring back and restore that Chatsworth that my older daughter grew up with around here. Thank you.
Let's see, then Susie?